So you saw all those cultures all around this realm worshipping the serpent, worshipping the dragon, worshipping reptilian images, gods, divinities. Now, what do they all have in common? Why did they worship the dragon? Well, they worship the sun, they worship the water, they worship the earth, and they worship the stars. And thus is the clue, guys. And normally I do a final reveal, but today I'm going to roll reverse. I'm going to tell you the answer straight away, save you some time, and then I'm just going to fill the video with cool stuff to show you why they worship the dragon. So the reason they worship the dragon is because in antiquity the North Star Polaris was Thuban, Alpha Draconis. There you go, guys. That's the simple answer, is why everyone worshipped the serpent, the dragon, the reptilian entities, because the North Star in ancient times was in the Draco constellation.
The constellation Draco is composed of 14 stars. Starting at the tip of the head of Draco is Rastaban, which is 380 light years away and is the third brightest star with an apparent magnitude of 2.79. From Rastaban, the head splits into two sides. The left side is a double star Kuma, which both stars have an apparent magnitude of 3.88, and the first star is 98.7 light years away, and the second star is 99.4 light years away. The right side of the head is the star Edaman, which has an apparent magnitude of 2.4, making it the brightest star in Draco, and is 154.3 light years away. The final star of the head and the beginning of the body is the star Grumium, which has an apparent magnitude of 3.75 and is 112.5 light years away. The next star is Nodus Secundus, which has an apparent magnitude of 3 and is 97.4 light years away. The next star is Till, which has an apparent magnitude of 3.9974 and is 148 light years away. The next star, Chi Draconis, has an apparent magnitude of 3.570 and is 26.3 light years away. The next star, Zeta Draconis, the fifth brightest star, has an apparent magnitude of 3.17 and is 330 light years away. The next star is Eta Draconis, the second brightest star, with an apparent magnitude of 2.73 and is 92.1 light years away. Both Zeta and Eta Draconis share the name Aldebaran. The next star, Theta Draconis, has an apparent magnitude of 4.12 and is 68.6 light years away. The next star is Edasich, the fourth brightest star, with an apparent magnitude of 3.3 and is 101.2 light years away. The next star, Thuban, has an apparent magnitude of 3.65 and is 303 light years away, and used to be the North Pole star in ancient times.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
And used to be the North Pole star in ancient times. The next star is Kappa Draconis, which has an apparent magnitude of 3.88 and is 490 light years away. The final star Draco is Gianfar, which has an apparent magnitude of 4.1 and is 334 light years away. These are the 14 stars that make up Draco.
So what I'm going to show to you now, guys, is it will trigger some of you. Now, it used to trigger me many years ago, 10 to 15 years ago. I was in a certain community, the ones that blackballed me and made me become the black sheep. I was told by gatekeepers, and like all of us, the pole star never moves and it never changes. And when I came across this information, researching for videos, I was triggered. Now, triggered means an emotional response. So I had an emotional response. I was like, I'm told the North Star never moves and has never moved, but this is saying this. Now, people will, and I have showed this evidence to people over the years, and they've said, oh, it's just science, it's Google, it's the search engines, they're all lying. Well, go and look and research for yourself. Any information you can get is that. That is you defending a lie. Remember, truth is not what we have been told. People are still fighting, thinking that they're doing the truth work. Truth just means a belief, steadfastness, and it's tied to the Roman goddess of confidence, fides. So, Thuban was the North Star between 3942 and 1793. Now, that, both of them figures, if you add them separately, add to 38, is a hidden 11. And that's when you know something is a bit whoa when 11 gets involved. Now, there's a connection with Thuban and the pyramids, and I'm going to quickly go over that with you now. The Egyptian pyramids, the Old Kingdom Egyptians used Thuban to align the sides of the Pyramid of Giza with the cardinal directions. That's what some say. Entrance alignment. The descending passages of many Egyptian pyramids, including, so a lot of them, all of them, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, were designed to align with Thuban, serving as a fixed point in the night sky to establish true north. The so-called earth shafts or star shafts in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid are thought to have been directed at specific stars to assist the pharaoh's soul in its journey, with some scholars aligning one shaft towards Thuban in the north, while the southern shaft aligned with Orion. So it's talking about its soul going to the Draco constellation. Now this is what it intrigues me, because people talk about reptilians coming from the Draco constellation. And it's crazy when you think about it. Now, some numbers about Thuban that stood out to me. Magnitude. Thuban Alpha Draconis has a magnitude of approximately 3.65, making it a relatively faint star that is barely visible to the naked eye today. Right? It is visible 365 days a year. It's a circumpolar star for observers at many northern latitudes, meaning it remains above the horizon for 365 days a year. And these again talk about how it was the North Star over 5,000 years ago to guide the builders of the Egyptian pyramids. Now, Thuban Alpha Draconis is located 303 light years away from Earth. Now, those numbers, 303, remove the 0, 33. Freemasonry talk about light as knowledge. And there you go, you have a straight connection there of 33. It's 33 away from Earth and 365 the calendar. So it's crazy, isn't it, when we are shown this? And again, I've been honest throughout my years researching. When something triggers me, I take a step back and look, why am I getting so emotional over this? I've been told Thuban. Again, I'm accepting someone else's research telling me that Polaris has never moved and does not move. When it does, it's only fixed to the naked eye. So what I'm going to show you now is some time lapse. Now they're just like photographs or slowed up video of Polaris, and what I'm going to show you one basically as it is, and then I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Now I want you guys to be honest and let me know what you see. So let's start with the non-zoomed in version. You can see time-lapse video or photographs. Let's zoom in. What do you notice? And I'll highlight it. Oh yes, it's moving. It's only fixed to the naked eye. I'll show you another one. Normal vision, you can see it. Time-lapse video or photographs of Polaris. What are you noticing? Come on guys, you have to be honest with yourself. We are told this does not move and is fixed. It is to the naked eye. But you take photographs or time-lapse videos and what can you see? Yes, you can see it moving. Again, I'll highlight it. It's moving. So why are people defending this when it's obvious from you when you're taking time-lapse that Polaris moves? Ask yourself, why are you getting so triggered defending something that you can plainly see with your eyes is moving? I rest my case. Some of you will be saying, hey, this guy's got so infatuation with the number 11, it's crazy. He had to get it in somewhere. And you're right, that's just how I see it, guys. But then when you put down that mantle and say, let's have a look. Draconis is known as 11 Draconis. So there is a connection to the number 11, and in 1725 John Flamsteed basically catalogued the star and listed it as 11 Draconis. And when you look a bit more, basically they say they use the number 11 in conjunction with its scientific name, such as being identified with coordinates that appear in datasets, sometimes abbreviated or categorized within 11 sequences, though the primary direct identifier is 11 Draconis. So, you know, when you may laugh and start off laughing, oh, he's putting 11 in, and then go down, he has a point there. And that's what happens. In Greek mythology, the constellation Draco represents the dragon, obviously, that guarded the golden apples in the garden of Hesperides. Now, stealing these apples was the 11th of the 12 labours of Hercules. Again, you have to get this 11 in. And in Chinese astronomy, Thuban is known as the first star of the right wall of the purple forbidden enclosure, which is part of the 7-star asterism, but the specific designated as the right pivot, the U-shu, is sometimes referred to in context linking it to the 11th hour. The 11th hour, which I've talked about in many a video, more directly is the first star of the specific 7-star wall configuration. So you just see there is links with the number 11 to the star system, the Draco constellation. So you may have started off going, oh God, he's putting 11 in again, and going, damn, he finds this shit somewhere. So guys, what I'm going to show you now is blew me away. I keep hyperventilating, losing my breath, getting too excited. It's dawned on me the significance of what I find, and I'm going, oh, I can't, my head's pounding. I just can't believe it. What I'm going to show you has changed me to the core. It made me blurt out a string of expletives. I'm going through this list that I'm going to share with you now, and I'm like, no beeping way, no beeping way. This cannot be labelled as a coincidence. I heard a voice inside me saying, Paul, look at this, look at that word. And when I did, it's just opened up. See, I originally edit this differently, like a movie. Some bits at the end are already done first, and it might be up and down, and you might think, why has he gone back? It's just how I've edited it, guys. And I've filmed this so many times. I'm just going to use this one now. So let's read it out, show you my journey. Hopefully you can follow along and see how there's wow, and then it's out the park. There's no words for it. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Revelation 12:4. So I was going to ask, hey, look at this verse. Could it be talking about the stars from the Thuban, stars from the Draconis constellation? And they became what I was talking about as being energy, the ley lines, fallen angels cast down and chained to the ground. They are known as dragon lines also. So is there a connection there? And I'm like, this is the route I was going to go. Then the voice of intuition said to me, Paul, look at the word tail. So I looked at the tail, and look what it says. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. So the main part of these stars coming from the tail, right, thrown to earth. So I thought, what is the tail of Draconis? The tail of Draco constellation winds between the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, with several key stars defining this region. The most notable star in the tail is Thuban, Alpha Draconis, while the end of the tail is marked by Geosa or Lambda Draconis. Lambda is the 11th letter of the Greek alphabet, corresponding to the letter L. It signifies the sound I and has a numeric value of 30. It is widely used in science, mathematics, computing to represent variables such as wavelength, radioactive decay, eigen values, and anonymous functions. So guys, you can see Thuban, Alpha Draconis. And we're talking about this being the part of the star system being cast down. Then I saw Lambda. Now what's funny is another name for Lambda is Gianfar. Gian is a derivative of Janus. And you see the connection with the 11 and everything and why I'm excited. But what strung to me is because many years ago when we had the lockdown, I showed people without a shadow of proof that it was a ritual to Janus, from the first masks to the first death and so on and so on. You saw all the videos, and Lambda is a variant of that. Now this may or probably will get me in trouble, but I'm so proud of what I found. It has to be shared, it has to be shown. Hey, this little channel has just found this gold and it needs to be shown. This is why they worship the serpent, the dragon, the basilisk. Slam dunk, guys. Now Lambda is a variant of that. So when I'm just Googling and looking at other variants, I found this image. So I'm going to use this variant, right, and this image to go down the list, right? So what my thinking is, I've just found Lambda and it's a constellation and it was a variant. So in no particular order, I want to go through that list and see if these are in the Draco constellation. So first off, I just written it down in no particular order. Iota, is that in the Draco constellation? Yes, it is. Its proper name is Edasich, number 1. A little bit of a coincidence, but you have a few now that's been found in the constellation that match variant names. Okay, so you've had Lambda, you got Iota. You now have Alpha Draconis, you can see right at the top. You're starting to go swirling like me now. Wow. Next one, Beta or Beta, whatever you want to pronounce it, Beta Draconis, otherwise known as Rastaban. You can see Beta's on there. There's also Gamma Draconis, otherwise known as Eltanin. You can see I was shaking at this point. Next one, Delta Draconis, otherwise known as Altais. Epsilon Draconis, otherwise known as Til or Tile, because it's spelled Tyl. Zeta Draconis, otherwise known as Aldehiba, and that is 33 light years away, also known as the wolf, the hyena, or the jackal. So you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 now off that list are all variant names, and they're in this constellation that was cast down. You can see why I'm going crazy at this point. Eta Draconis, and this is pronunciation is bad, but otherwise known as Aethabine or Aldehizabane. Those are names of Eta Draconis. Eta Draconis is known as Shangpi or Shangxi. That's how I say it anyway. You have Kappa Draconis, has no name, but they use a Chinese variant name. It is Shaowei, like Xiaowei. Guys, come on. There's 8, 9, 10 names out of this constellation that has been used for variants. Now, why are they worshipping the dragon? Then using these numbers and names from Greek to name the stars. Come on. Even like I've said previously in other videos, this is not a coincidence. This blew my mind. I'm still shaking now. It's took me so many takes to do this. And I thought I'll just do one more just to check. Another constellation in Thuban or Draconis constellation. Mu Draconis, another variant that's not even on that list. Otherwise known as Arrakis. Yes, guys, like Dune. Tell me you're not blown away like me. And I'm proud that I've done it. It's gonna may cost me a lot of heat, but I'm not bothered. It's worthy of that because this needed to be shown to everyone. I got this burst of information to me, the intuition, just Paul, look at the tail. Then that led to all these variants, and they're all a part of the constellation. You can see how I'm trembling, I'm excited, I just don't know what to say or go from that. So that came from that Revelation 12:4. There's other things talking, another part of Revelation. The great dragon was thrown down, the old serpent. He is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to earth, and his angels were thrown down with him. We've also talked about those variants being those angels that thrown down and cast and chained. That was Revelation 12:9. Again, wow. Then I'm trying to think along these lines of all these variants, the jibber jabbers and things, and this verse just stood out to me. In that day the Lord with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is the sea. Now, if you know, when you look at hypodermic needles, they remind you of the fangs of the serpent. Those two together, and with what I've just showed you, you should be going like me. Absolutely just head banging. Wow, what have you just found? The people will say it's just a coincidence, it just uses the Greek numbers. But they chose to use those numbers in relation to the stars to name the variants, which is a part of the serpent. just like the hypodermic needle and the poisonous bite. Come on, guys. And I don't want to go then into a load of other verses to show you this, because I wanted to keep it quite short because I've got so much to go through. Then you think of this verse. In the end, it bites like a snake. It spits like a basilisk. Alpha Draconis Thuban, the star in the Draco constellation, has a name derived from the Arabic Thuban, which refers to a large snake or basilisk. Slam dunk again. Then you might think, oh yeah, well that's a cool coincidence, Paul, a wow coincidence, or or you could be like me and go, oh my God, what have you just found? Then I thought they couldn't go this far. They couldn't, could they? Now have a look at a program that was set up in Europe and look at the title, Dragon. Again, you're left speechless. They're not hiding it. It's been hidden in plain sight. We've just not saw it. Well, I've not on this journey of I'm been on. And I just asked, is there a dragon in connection to that name? Yes, the term dragon is connected to that name and number, but primarily through a specific European medical research program called Dragon, an academic phase used to describe the pandemic, called it the Dragon Pandemic. Where's me mic? Slam dunk, shove that up your derriere. That is 100% not a coincidence. And I'm just gobsmacked. Dragon Project AI in imaging. The most direct connection is the Dragon Project, a radiomics driven decision support system for that name and number, an EU funded initiative that ran from 2020 to 2023. Let's add all those numbers. 2 and 2, 4, add the 2, 6, add another 2, 8 and 3 is 11. You know that coincidence that all the other truthers that don't want you to share this? Yeah, it's a coincidence. It's using artificial intelligence and AI analyst software for that program to analyze CT scans and patient data to help clinical diagnose that name and number and predict patient outcomes. Some of them called it the Dragon Pandemic. Why would they call it that? Because, again, it's a ritual. It's showing you the ritual and the worship of the dragon, the serpent, the basilisk. All this in connection with that time, that lockdown and all the variants. They called it the Dragon Pandemic. Tell me you ain't blown away like I am. I've just lost it. Then I found this little tidbit and I'm like, no way. So there was something else happened and a doctor made this. And it's basically a dragon. But what you're going to see, and I'm going to read it out first and then show you the image. The artwork featured a Chinese dragon, a glowing orb, and a human figure representing a healthcare worker. Its intended symbolism was the dragon was meant to represent the origin of the pandemic, while the healthcare worker was depicted as fighting the virus, represented by an orb. Here's the image. Remember, also part of Alpha Draconis and one of the names, that it was a colour, the purple wall. What colour was covering this statue? But purple. There is the dragon, the origin of it according to these people. People are talking about it in a district in China. I'm talking about the stars, the constellation. That is the connection. There's the dragon, there's a healthcare worker with two face, with a mask, and the orb, the glowing orb in a hand. What can you find in the Vatican? Right, connected to the orb. And remember Hercules, the 11th one. It was the 11th trial. The golden apples is in his hand. But also in the Vatican courtyard is like this. The golden poisoned orb decay. I'm absolutely blown away and so proud and passionate of what I've found. I'm not holding back, guys. And hopefully you've been following this and you're just like me. This is absolutely wow. Because I just talked about the Vatican connection, I wanted to show some reliefs of the serpent in the church and in the Vatican. But before those clips with music, I might add, I want to share this CGI, this image, with you because of the connection. Now, you all know the names of that period it was locked down. I've showed you in here. But look what's near. This is something that actually passes through. But there's two of it. And you're going to be blown away because it's just more in my favour, showing you the connection and why I worship Draco constellation, the dragon. So as you can see, I've highlighted it, circle it. The Corona Borealis is underneath the Draco, right? You might think, oh yeah, it's not directly underneath, Paul, so why mention that? But it shares the sky with it. So, and we know the name Corona and what it's linked to. But here's another thing. The image that you actually see that does look like a winding serpent is supposed to be a wall. I know, guys, but I'm just showing you a connection in their head. And it's called the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall. And it covers a massive area of the sky that includes the constellation Draco. It is a colossal galactic filament stretching across the northern hemisphere, positioned near the border of Draco and Hercules constellations, extending over 100 degrees of the sky. But here is where they get their little bit of worship in. Scientists stunned by the cosmic wall. This gigantic 33 billion light year structure just redefined the signs of our observable universe. So you can just see why I've included that, because I've just showed you all those links with the variants with the Draco constellation, and it's near and also gets covered by a corona. So you can see the irony and think, wow, what a connection there, Paul. So now here's some of these images from inside the Vatican and church, and obviously the audience hall, the Pope all looking like a serpent, and then there's going to be some other things for you guys to watch. So guys, what I'm going to show you, I've showed you over the years. To me, it's a huge wow. To me, it shows you how deep this really goes. And when people are talking about the serpent link, the dragon link, and we're talking about the church and the Vatican, the Pope's title is the Father. Now in Italian, Father, and I'm going to type it into the anagram generator, as you can see on the screen, is Pape. It means Father. Let's anagram it. And top one, Apep. Apep, otherwise known as Apophis, the serpent of chaos. The deity representing darkness and destruction is a giant serpent. And he was there to destroy the cosmic order, Ma'at, and attack Ra's solar boat every night during his journey through the underworld. So guys, the devourer of the sun is Apep or Apophis. That anagrams into Father, which is obviously Peter as well, Peter. And you start to go, wow, people are showing you the divining serpent, which a lot of people say is actually not accurate. But they will show you the auditorium and it looks like a serpent. It does, a snake. But its title, Apep of the Father, that connection no one shows you. But why not? Because it's crazy. I think that is a big wow. So as I just showed you, the anagram of Pape, which is father, means Apep, the serpent. So people often like to see it so they can see for themselves. So you can see on the screen, Pape often means father or pope, derived from the Latin papa, through it frequently confused with papa dad. It stems from the ancient Greek papas daddy and is used for pope in French and archaic English. The spelling varies by language and context, often denoting a religious father or parents. So you can just see the connection. While the term pope is derived from the Greek papas meaning father, the exclusive reservation of the title for the Bishop of Rome became official in the 11th century, specifically under the reign of Pope Gregory the 7th. Now guys, the 11th century, any other century, but it had to be the 11th. And I know it'd be before the 11th, but guess what? Before that time, many bishops were called a pope. In 1073, 1 add 7 add 3 is, you got it, an 11. So it's the 11th century and the date is an 11 that they decided to call the Pope Father. But that's just a coincidence because I found it. So what I'm going to show you now just blew me away, guys. I actually swore. You know what you do when you find something, you're like, I thought I found this and showed it on videos. I may have, but it's still come new and fresh to me. And I'm like, no way, really, can it? And I'm talking about numerology and then obviously gematria. So I typed in snake because we're talking about the snake. 146 adds to, you got it, an 11. So remember, Draconis is known as 11 Draconis. So you can just see how my mind works. And I'm like, yeah, we're talking about the snake. But Paul, come on. We're talking about the serpent too. Okay, I'll type serpent into gematria. Adds to 380. Ignore the 0. 3 add 8 is, yes, you got it, another 11. And I'm like, you know that anticipation. Come on, Paul. No way can dragon add to an 11. So I typed it in and bam, 182. 1 add 8 is 9, add 2 is an 11. Guys, come on. Even the hardened naysayer and people who troll can not see this connection that I've showed you today about Apep being father, connected to Draconis 11 and the 11 connections when they started using that title. I'm just blown away. And in gematria, serpent, dragon and snake both all add to number 11, the number of this realm. That is just huge. So for this video, I had grand plans. I'm going to make it a very long video. I'm going to go really to town. But finding that the constellation, all the stars in that are all variants and showing you how everything's connected, it took its toll on me. Do you know when you have to just get the information out? You're bursting at the seams. You can't hold your water, as the saying goes. And I need to show this to then relieve that pressure inside me. So I'm going to make it a series looking at why they worship the serpent, the dragon, the snake, and honing in on specific topics. Again, like this one has, to show you why. And so I'm going to finish with this segment. Again, this is a stretch to some and crazy wow to a lot when I show you everything in context. It is scary and wow in both sets. So here we go. So I want to look at these couple of verses, guys. Revelation 12:3, and there appeared another wonder in the heaven. Remember the heaven, the stars. And behold, a great red dragon, as I was talking about, in that constellation there is a lot of red stars. Anyway, so behold a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowned corona upon his heads. Right. So let's have another look at this, but from Daniel's perspective. And the 10 horns out of the kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he should subdue 3 kings. So remember, 10 kings or 10 horns, and then the little one, the little horn, is, yes, you got it, 11 and 11. So Daniel's 11 horn and the dragon. A fourth beast appears with 10 horns, and a little horn, the 11th, rises among them. So all the connections that I've showed you with the Draco constellation on the 11 now makes more sense, which is described as having eyes and a mouth, speaking boasts, eventually acting as a destructive earthly manifestation of the dragon's power. I've also talked in recent videos about the ley lines being the dragon's power. The beast to dragon connection. Revelation 12 and 13 showed that the power receiving its authority from the great red dragon, the constellation Draco, Satan, the ancient serpent, the 11th horn, is seen as an agent. Now, agent can be used for various things. An agent could be like a chemical, a product, a man-made being used. The jibber jabber, as we're talking about, remember, through which the dragon, the serpent, exercises power and wages war in the final days. So you can see like why I'm wow. So I just wanted to look what is 10 in the Draco constellation, and there is a star called 10 Draconis, also known as I Draconis or Cu Dra, is an aging red giant star with a stellar classification of M3.53. Now if you just count the numbers, 3 at 5, 8, add those 2 3s and 11. Funny that, isn't it? So he's talking about how that's a bright red star. But the Cu bit just stood out for me because looking at research and old videos, I remember Cu is copper. So copper, Cu, has emerged as a significant factor in both the environmental prevention of those things that we can't see on this platform and the biological immune response to the virus. Research indicates that the copper surfaces can rapidly inactive SARS while maintaining adequate internal copper levels is crucial for a strong immune response and the effective vaccination outcome. It's funny that these two go in hand. It's a bit like Kryptonite and Superman, isn't it? But look at this, guys. Copper, as we've just talked about, is a chemical element. It has the symbol Cu from the star, and its atomic number is 29. So I want to tell people, how many times do I have to show things to not be classed as a coincidence in the naysayers' eyes? Come on, 29, crazy. So what I did many years ago, and it's one of my most popular videos, hundreds of thousands of views, and it was looking at the giants, the men of renown. And in that video, I basically, spell etymology, the word serpent, and I looked at it as being in the skeleton and in these vessels. But now when you look at the serpent now, could it be these vaccinations, these variants that I'm talking about? Remember, it meant, and this is me breaking down the word serpent, it meant to keep something confined and enclosed and protect it inside. So is it being protected in the basically hypodermic needles? That's just how I'm seeing it. So that's just from an old video. Now it makes a little bit more sense. So this week I've had a lot of people talking to me and seen in socials about the Artemis 2 mission. Now, as you can see on screen, NASA with a forked tongue has always been linked with the serpent. Everyone can agree. We're talking about the stars in the sky, which is so-called connected to NASA. Everyone can agree. And then you see this, when what people talk about, NASA is just Satan minus the T. That is why they say T minus when at blast off. Everyone can agree. So guys, I want to use that same premise. I want to minus the T on a certain word. Now that certain word is stars, because I'm talking about the serpent, the dragon, the basilisk, whatever you want to call it, Draco, the dragon in the sky. So it's the stars. So let's T minus, let's take away the T in stars. What are we left with? Oh, SARS. Remember what SARS is? Come on. That just blew me away with the rest of the other information. So I thought, you know what? Let's T minus that and let's what we found. Oh, SARS. What's the etymology of that though? So multiple distinct etymological origins include Persian meaning head of the dragon, the top, the crown. But in Hebrew it means prince or chief. Prince. And we know in Christian theology and the Bible, the devil is referred to as the prince. So It's named after what I'm saying, the Prince of Darkness, the power of the air, the Prince of the world, the power of the fallen world. I've talked about these stars, these constellations being used as names for the Verdians. And now I'm tracing all this to the Prince, the power of the air, where the stars are in the air. The two examples AI give me here, Ephesians 2:2 and John 12:31. Those two numbers add to, yes, you got it, an 11. I'm blown away, guys. And I'm proud of what I've done in this video. And this needs to be shared. It needs to be, if you're proud of this channel and what I've just showed you in this video and the information, you need to share it. I'm tired of seeing the same old stuff in the community. This is new, this is fresh. Well, hopefully, time this goes up, people say, oh, they've been talking about this for years. So you get what I mean, but you know what I mean? It's new to me. So we're talking about the 7, remember, in that verse. If you remember, it talks about 10 horns and 7 crowns upon its head. Now, the horn, just, I don't even know how to, listen, just look at this. Hypodermic needles are connected to the syringes, often referred to in this context by the locking mechanism, or the horn. Horn! Known as the lure tip. Sounds like a bit like a Lucifer, you know. But anyway, the horn, it's known as a horn for bloody hell's sake. That absolutely blew me away. So I'm talking about, 7 horns. And there are 7 known human of those things that we can't say. You can see it on the screen. There's 7 human viruses. Come on, guys. How much more in your face? Having 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And there you go, the 7 versions of it that affect humans. Whoa. So I just wanted to look, how is 7 connected to the Draco constellation? 7 Draconis, Tiani, that is a specific star in the constellation designated as 7 Draconis, also named Tianyi, or whatever, a faint orange hue giant star. It also says the 7 key stars in related to holy days that is used in this realm. In some specialized star calendars, 7 Pacific stars within the Draco constellation are marked as major holy days, often used to represent key mythological or spiritual events. Head of the dragon. The head of the dragon is a distinct, small, trapezoid shape consisting of 4 main stars, Beta, Gamma, Nu, and Xi. Through ancient Chinese tradition, sometimes including more to form a figure, maybe 7. But look at the shape, trapezoid. So I thought, no way, it couldn't. How is this connected to what we're not allowed to mention on this channel? The epidemic curve modeling researchers have used a trapezoid model or trapezoid-like representation to analyze, fit and predict COVID-19. Ooh, I said it. I'll just black that out. Beep! Infected waves, specifically to estimate the duration of subsequent waves based on the data. So guys, the head of the dragon, and they also use the head of the dragon to analyze the data and see how long they're gonna do this pandemic for. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy what I found. And Alpha Draconis designation, while title Alpha, which usually means the brightest, Thuban, which we're talking about as the North Star, is actually the 7th brightest star in the constellation. I'm blown away, guys. I have to get this information out before I burst. I'm excited. It's also dawned on me the significance of what I'm showing. I can see it as a slam dunk, in your face, worship of the dragon, worship of the serpent, that they named all those constellations after the Verdians. And I've showed you how the 11s are involved. I've showed you how it all fixed to the stars, the models that they use, the names that they're using as the prince. To me, guys, this is probably one of the best videos I have made. And I need that to reflect in how you feel about it. I need you to share it. I need you to, hey, go and check this out, what he's found. It's groundbreaking. That's to me. And I've never been as proud in my life. And I know this will come with it heat, but it's worth it. It really, really is. So if you want to help the channel, you can do so, guys, by liking, sharing and subscribing. That would really truly help. And if, like you say, if you want to keep the lights on and you appreciate me, you can always buy me a better. The QR code is on the screen and the link will be in the description. So guys, this is just start of the series, and let's see what you think of the information that I've put in it. So like I always say, stay safe, always wear a smile, and don't let the bastards grind us down. Bye.
Get the fuck out of here!